Good evening, glad that you are watching your channel of choice on the news tonight. President Uhuru Kenyatta's Ukambani tour that was cancelled has been rescheduled for Friday. The president met leaders from the region following claims of supremacy battles in the area. Also tonight, Chief Justice Martha Koome now says inmates facing other capital offences except murder will no longer ride on the Muruatetu case to have their sentences reduced. Court of Appeal halts swearing-in of Nairobi Deputy Governor Anne Kananu as the city county boss following an appeal by activist Okia Omtata. Minimbesa is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. Tonight we start on a sad note, and 4 people have died this evening following a fatal accident that occurred at Kinungi on the Nairobi-Naivasha highway. The accident involved a saloon car and a lorry. Our reporter Willie Dennis Njiru has this story from Naivasha.
The wreckage of this small car tells it all. The magnitude of the impact following the 6 p.m. head-on accident that involved a private car and this truck that was headed to Espokot to collect tomatoes.
Na watu wametupita pale Kinungi, walikuwa madhishi hapo Kinungi. Ndio walikuwa wametoka madhishi huko Mwega. So wakipanda hii gari kidogo ilikuwa inapanda na lori nayo ilikuwa inateremka. Penye ilikuwa inateremka, so kuna hii gari kadogo ikaenda kuovertake. Ilikuwa kwa mbio sana. So dereva amegongana kichwa kwa kichwa.
Sasa gari kadogo kwa kikuja hivi kakatustukia tu kwa side, hata kamegonga pande ya dereva. Akatugonga tukaanguka.
1 person died on the spot while 3 others succumbed at the Naivasha Level 5 hospital while undergoing treatment. The medical team is, however, still trying to save the lives of 4 others that are still in a coma.
Tumekuja hapa tukakuta magari dogo na lori zilikuwa zimegongana, lakini tumejaribu kusaidia wenye ambao walikuwa wameumia.
Eyewitnesses say that the small car that had 8 occupants, all of whom were from attending a burial in Kinungi. They say the car had attempted to overtake a lorry that was headed to Nairobi while the accident occurred.
Ilikuwa na wanawake wawili na kijana mmoja na wazee 5.
Hii gari kadogo ilikuwa na watu wengi sana. Na hao watu wameumia sana. Na walikuwa na mama na kulikuwa na wazee. Watu wameumia sana wako pale. Yaani mpaka wamevunjika miguu sana.
The stretch is notorious for fatal accident aggravated by the 27 kilometers steep slope that descends to the foot of the Rift Valley.
Nashukuru Mungu kwa vile niko hai. Natafuta mali.
For TV47 from Naivasha in Nakuru County, I'm Willie Dennis Njiru.
May their souls rest in eternal peace. Elsewhere, the global community has threatened to pull out its donor support should the government fail to streamline corruption scandals currently facing cancer. This as Kenya signed a 3-year grant worth 48 billion shillings for the treatment of TB, malaria and HIV/AIDS.
This long-term relationship has resulted in remarkable progress in reduction in the 3 major public health diseases of HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. The narrations that we heard earlier this morning, from Kenyans benefiting from the program is a testament of its positive impact on lives. The investments by the Global Fund and other partners have resulted in steady decrease of HIV prevalence from a high of 11% in 1998 to the current level of 4.9%. Over 75% of the 1.49 million people living with HIV in Kenya are on antiretroviral therapy. Impressive outcomes in TB control have also been achieved through these partnerships, especially in the last 3 years. Treatment success among the TB patients has improved from 81% in 2018 to 85% in 2021. As a result, the incidence rate has been declining by 8% annually, an indication that the current TB control interventions are effective. Through the Global Fund support, patients with multi-drug resistant TB are receiving the benefit of social protection through enrollment in the National Health Insurance Fund.
A group of senators are now pushing for more economy-oriented COVID-19 protocols in order to ease the ravages of the pandemic. Led by Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, the senators have pointed an accusing finger at the government for allowing the so-called COVID-19 billionaires to walk scot-free, yet the billions of shillings have already allegedly been stolen at the expense of managing the COVID-19 situation. Paul Kirobi has more.
It goes without saying that COVID-19 has caused a serious drag in the economy, making the lives of many Kenyans miserable. And now, a section of senators want the government to provide the way forward by crafting strategies to cushion the people and the economy.
But when you go to these areas, Madam Speaker, the close down is a field day for the police. Every evening, Madam Speaker, I was at home over the weekend. You see a band of policemen walking with women. They have arrested selling vegetables, and they are 10 minutes past 7. They arrest them and walk with them up to midnight.
While making contributions on the floor of the House, Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen pointed an accusing finger at the government. Murkomen was specifically agitated by the government for what he said were knee-jerk reactions instead of offering long-term remedies to the ravages of the pandemic.
This nation at the moment should be discussing about 20 million Kenyans have been vaccinated. We should be saying everybody who is above 50 years has been vaccinated. We should be discussing in July 2021 that the country has been opened and no one should fear coming to this nation for tourism because Kenya has vaccinated more than 70% of its population. A lot of our resources are being channeled to useless things. Things to do with changing the constitution, Madam Speaker. Things to do with paying lawyers to defend a process of changing the constitution.
Hapa kwetu Mheshimiwa Spika, tunakwenda hatua mbili mbele, tunarudi hatua tano nyuma. Tunakwenda hatua mbili mbele, tunarudi hatua tano nyuma. Kwa mfano Mheshimiwa Spika, tumezungumzia haya mambo ya social distance kwa muda mrefu, mambo ya kuvaa barakoa kwa muda mrefu.
The Ministry of Health that has so far partially vaccinated more than 1 million Kenyans is also on the spot. The Senate says the health docket has been captured by the so-called cartels who are making a kill through tenderpreneurships. The senators lament financial boost by the international monetary bodies to the health docket have ended in scandals and no culprits have been brought to book.
The little resources we are allocated by the national government and the on-source revenue generated from the county government is not utilized properly to take care of our population. Madam Speaker, the challenge we have in this country is corruption from the sweeper.
Crowning that, Madam Speaker, is the massive and monstrous frauds that have gone on at KEMSA on COVID. Instead of people fighting the pandemic, people are seeing it as an avenue and a highway for ill-gotten wealth.
Also, the senators have accused the government of not creating awareness to convince more people to get vaccinated.
The US has vaccinated 137 million people so far. China has vaccinated 1 billion so far. India is getting there.
Kenya has vaccinated only 0.7% of its adult population against COVID-19. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Paul Kirobi, for that. Moving on, Dixon Janja Mararo, a man accused of shooting 2 police officers and a lady in a club along the Thika Superhighway over the weekend, will know if he will be released on bail on Wednesday or be detained for a further 14 days. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations has applied to continue holding the suspect pending completion of investigation into the matter. Njanja turned himself at the DCI headquarters Monday afternoon, accompanied by his lawyer, after going under following the weekend incident. Mwangi Maina has the details.
Clad in a three-piece suit, the gun-toting 27-year-old Dixon Njanja Mararo was presented before the High Court in Milimani, Nairobi, accompanied by his defense team before Lady Justice Zainab Abdul. It is alleged Njanja shot two police officers and a lady believed to be his girlfriend at a popular entertainment joint along the Thika Superhighway on Saturday night before going under. It is alleged the altercation ensued over a love affair. The DCI, through an affidavit filed in court by Chief Inspector Joy Frendado, wants the suspect detained for a fortnight as probe into the case goes on. The DCI, over the 14 days, seeks to record statements, retrieve CCTV footage from Quiver Lounge, and examine medical reports from the victims of Njanja's shooting. The court heard one of the police officers is in critical condition, while his counterpart and the lady victim were treated and discharged.
The moment the suspect will be arraigned, in the moment that we are charging him with the offense, the victims will have knowledge of the suspect, and this will bring about objection of having known the suspect prior.
Njanja, through his counsel, lawyer Cliff Ombeta, has opposed DCI's application, claiming he is not a flight risk. Ombeta told the court that the police have gathered all the evidence they required, and the suspect will be presented to the DCI if need be.
That I presented the suspect to the officers at CID headquarters. If they want him any other day, even tomorrow, or any other day that they want, I'll take him. I'll personally take him there. All these things that they need to do right now do not need his presence. Anything else they want to ask him, we shall go.
However, Dan Maanzo, the counsel representing one of the victims who is admitted in hospital, urged the court to grant the police 14 days to complete the investigations owing to the grave charge of attempted murder, as his client is still in critical condition.
It will be of importance that the suspect is detained, so that we could have enough time to know which way the prosecution will go.
A semi-automatic pistol and 38 rounds of ammunition were recovered from the suspect facing attempted murder charges. Whether or not he will be released on bail or be detained further will be decided tomorrow. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
Still in the corridors of justice, and the 2-decade-long Murua case, which followed the death of a city land dealer in early 2000, gave hope to thousands of murder convicts facing death sentences after Francis Murua, the prime suspect in the case, and his co-accused challenged the legality of their sentence and got their death sentence reduced to 35 and 50 years in prison in 2017. But Chief Justice Martha Koome now says inmates facing other capital offences except a murder will no longer ride on the Murua case to have their sentences reduced. Musa Salah has more.
Having been in the corridors of justice since the 4th of February 2000, following the brutal murder of renowned city land dealer Lawrence Githinji Magondo, the Murua case, named after Magondo's alleged killers Francis Murua and his co-accused Wilson Mwangi, has proven to be one of the most controversial murder cases in Kenya's history.
Andrews University in the United States.
The over 2-decade-long case has had the courts go round in judgments, saving the two suspects from the shackles of death after Murua and Mwangi successfully challenged the legality of the mandatory death sentence, giving hope to thousands of convicts facing death sentences in Kenyan jails. However, the Supreme Court has dealt a huge blow to convicts who have been relying on the Murwatetu case to get shorter sentences. In her inaugural sitting since taking office as Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, Lady Justice Martha Koome said that the application of the Murwatetu argument cannot be applied in other cases except for murder. Koome further notes that the constitutionality of a death sentence for capital offences such as treason and robbery with violence can also be challenged, but cautions that such a petition must be duly filed. In December 2017, the High Court quashed the death sentences against the accused in the case to hand Murwatetu and Mwangi 35 and 50 years in jail each. In her guidelines to the lower courts, Koome says the age of the offender, whether he or she is a first-time offender, and whether he or she would have pleaded guilty will guide the court in determining the sentences given to murder suspects to avoid further confusion in the corridors of justice. Musa Salah, TV 47.
Thank you, Musa Salah, for that report. You are watching TV 47 News tonight. Time for us to take a short break. Stay with us.
Coming up, Ministry of Labour and Social Justice to partner with Directorate of Criminal Investigations by opening a special desk to investigate rising cases of abduction and killings.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
My name is Gladys.
Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we rove the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV 47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big maisonette because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to pay cash.
Well, we have it right here on The Realtor on TV 47, where we demystify building right here in Kenya and analyze the property industry for you to take advantage when acquiring your next piece of property.
Every February, we hear men joking about going to a men's conference on Valentine's Day. We laugh about it, the lucky ones end up having a decent Valentine's Day, and we move on. But what we do not know is that men actually do meet up. Men do sit down and have conversations about things that affect their day-to-day life.
Let me ask, does money make the man?
Give them the gifts, shower them with everything you want to shower them with, but keep your money to yourself.
I, for one, have always been curious as to what goes on in a man's mind, specifically an alpha male's mind.
Adam, yule kwa Biblia anasema ni mtu wa kwanza duniani. Wewe unadhani kama angekuwa hana yale matunda, hana ile garden yake pale ya kukaa, angekuwa tu ni mdomo tu anamfuata Hawa. Oya, mimi ni Adam.
Welcome to the men's conference, where we make men alpha males. My name is Archie, the only female allowed at the conference.
Welcome back to TV 47 News tonight. Thank you for choosing us. President Uhuru Kenyatta is now scheduled to tour the Ukambani region this Friday. The tour that had been cancelled has been rescheduled after a meeting with leaders from the region. And as our reporter Elizabeth Mutuku now reports, the leaders were said to have disagreed on the tour that has now been scaled down.
President Kenyatta's Ukambani tour has now been rescheduled for Friday this week, just a day after the tour was cancelled. The president's tour will however, be scaled down to avoid public gatherings due to COVID-19 situation. The president will be inspecting development projects in the area.
We have to have responsibility to protect our people, the people of Ukambani. And if the president so find that the trip might be cause triggers of COVID, I would not wish even to be part and parcel of it. We can postpone. But I can assure you that the presidential trip is still on. It's only a matter of rescheduling to a different date.
Jambo la kwanza ni kuchunga wananchi. Na niseme ya kwamba pia budget imesomwa tu hivi juzi. Na kabla mwezi wa Julai kwisha, budget itakuwa imepeanwa na serikali, na hivyo basi miradi ambayo itaendelea kwa mwaka mmoja ambao unabaki Ukambani itakuwa sasa imetokelezea wazi, ndio hata rais mwenyewe aweze kutangaza yale.
In a statement issued by State House spokesman Kanzidena said the head of state's itinerary had been reviewed following the consultative meeting with leaders from the lower eastern region comprising the counties of Kitui, Machakos and Makueni. The president is expected to visit Konsa City Project and Thwake Dam, which are in Makueni and Machakos counties respectively.
We consulted and we said no. I mean, if that's the advice, then we must stick to that advice. We need our people. We need to protect them. And so, whatever else you're hearing, I don't know where you're getting it from. And I don't know what is the problem with leaders having divergent opinions on one issue. It happens all over.
We care about our people. We don't want to spread this COVID issue. So we've agreed as the leaders from the region that he will visit areas where we will avoid crowds to make sure that our people are safe, even including ourselves.
Divisions and supremacy battle between Ukambani leaders were reported to have led the tour of the region to be postponed for the second time. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and 3 Ukambani governors are said to have failed to agree on how to go about the tour.
Kwa hivyo kama iko malumbano yoyote imaliziwe, ndio rais akikuja kufungua afungue kitu halali, asikuja kufungua kitu ambacho katika hesabu za serikali haijulikani. Mheshimiwa Mutua hana chochote ya kuonyesha. Aliahidi wananchi mambo ya kujenga mji mpya wa Machakos, hakujenga. Mheshimiwa Kibwana hana chochote cha kuonyesha kule Ukambani, hana mradi yoyote ambao imekamilika na inatumika na wananchi. Kwa hivyo kama Kikote kitasafishwa, basi ningependa rais aifungue.
Na nataka kuambia wakati wa panganga na siasa na porojo ulipitwa na wakati Kenya hii. Kama chama cha Wiper tulipojitolea kufanya kazi na chama cha Jubilee, sisi tuliamua kwa kauli moja tutashirikiana na rais na tutafuata masharti yale tutapewa yote. Kwa hivyo mtu ambaye ako na fikira zake tofauti, namwambia wale wake.
Maneno ya Kikotek, that's a very local issue. I will be very honest with you. Na mimi msimamo wangu wa Kikotek si wa leo, si wa jana ati vile president anaenda huko, hapana. Msimamo wangu wa Kikotek umekuwa hadharani kwa kila mtu. Kila mtu wote wa kaunti ya Kitui anajua. Senator Enoch Kiowambua amesema mradi wa Kikotek si halali. Yaani sio kitu ya kuficha.
In the previous arrangement, the leaders had stated the projects they want achieved in the region. Despite of evident differences among Ukambani leaders pertaining the presidential visit in the region, now the leaders insist that they are united in welcoming him in the region. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47 Nairobi.
Moving on, the Ministry of Labour and Social Justice has partnered with the Office of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in creating a new approach to curb the rising cases of child abductions and killings as witnessed in the recent past. Andrin Kilemi has the details.
Tunaomba tu kaa tungetafutiwa huyo mtoto at least.
Following the increasing cases of abductions and killings witnessed in the last 2 months, the government, through the Ministry of Labour, plans to set up a new department to investigate the resurgence of the mysterious disappearances, which is seemingly tracing its way back in the society. Speaking in Kituro, Baringo County, Labour Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui said the department will be created in conjunction with the Office of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to put a stop on cases of abductions that have left many families in anguish.
So this department will be tasked to ensure they get to the bottom of the challenge that we have in this country on abduction and killing of children.
Cases of abductions, torture and killings have been on the rise, with the recent cases being of several families living in Nairobi's Zimmerman estate who have gone through days of agony after the mysterious disappearance of their children in broad daylight. Another recent case is that of a 23-year-old Hafsa Mohammed who went missing in Isli and later rescued by police in Kayole.
Why would you want to go? Why would you want to reach out to me by punishing my children? Why would you target a child because of a parent's mistake?
In addition, it is now more than 3 weeks since the disappearance of security analyst Mwenda Mbijewe, with efforts to trace his whereabouts bearing no fruit. This among many cases in the recent past. Andrine Akilemi, TV 47.
Elsewhere, the swearing-in of Anne Kananu as Nairobi governor has been halted for a second time by the courts after an appeal made by activist Okia Omtata. The judges said the swearing-in will be temporarily halted until the appeal has been heard and determined. The first swearing-in was halted earlier in January after a case was filed by the Law Society of Kenya. And Kananu on April this year said she will contest for Nairobi governor's position next year. Her former boss and Governor Mike Sonko nominated her as his deputy on January 6th last year, but the court blocked the county assembly from vetting her. Now, the National Council of Churches of Kenya has condemned the imposing of excise duty by the government without considering the fate of people and challenges they are going through after the ripple effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The incoming Nairobi Region Council Chairman, Reverend Dr. Alphonse Kanga, said while addressing the media, has called on the government to suspend the Finance Bill 2021, which has radically increased the price of basic consumer products.
Swahili and English.
And then I think we shall do a side interview because we have inaccuracies about
Price statements. This regional conference calls for an immediate reversal of the emerging trend of the punitive taxation of Kenyans. We are very disappointed by our members of parliament who passed the Finance Bill 2021, which has radically increased the prices of basic consumer products without an accompanying growth of the economy and family incomes. The rise in taxation is in essence a deliberate impoverishment of Kenyans. We must end the culture of waiting for politicians coming to make promises of what they will do when elected, and instead change the campaign forums to be times when community members present memorandums to aspirants and only elect those who have clear strategies to implement them. Let us all make it clear that the citizens are the employers of political leaders, not the other way around.
Now, 2 sons have been arrested for allegedly killing their father at Raganga village in Kisii County. The arrest followed a post-mortem examination which revealed that Christinas Otwori was murdered. Mary Mora, daughter of the deceased, said there has been a dispute between her father and her two brothers, which might have led to the incident. Police have launched investigations into the murder. The deceased has been missing before his body was found mutilated and dumped in a borehole near his house.
Tulikuwa tunaenda kuchuna chai. Baba alikuwa anaenda kupalilia shamba ingine karibu hapo. Tulimwacha kwa nyumba kama anafaa gamboti. Tukaenda tulimaliza kuchuna chai. Kurudi nilikuta kisima iko wazi. Ndoo ya maji iko hapo na kuna nguo za kufua zilikuwa hapo kando. Sasa fanya niliangalia kwa kisima sikuona. Nikaita anko yangu akaangalia, fanya aliangalia pia hakuona. Tukaita mtu wa kisima kuingia ndani, tukakuta baba ako ndani. Sasa fenye kulikuwa na ugomvi na vijana wake. Hiyo ugomvi imekaa karibu miaka 3. Fenye kesho yake ilifika, tulianza kutafuta juu. Fenye alitolewa alikuwa amecheruliwa vibaya sana, ni kama alikuwa amepigwa, hata mikono yake ilikuwa imekatakatwa.
Hii maneno ilifanyika inazitoa watu la ganga yote. Hata kina mama wanashtuka, wazee, watoto. Hii maneno mbaya. Hii kijana yote mheshimu baba yenu sana. Si msahau baba yenu. Baba ni kitu kikubwa.
Results, the old man was murdered, and we were able to pick the sons to the deceased for the purposes of answering other questions as we carry out investigations. And we want to take also this opportunity to condole with the family of the deceased and at the same time condemn this incident with the strongest terms possible.
From Raganga village in Kisii County, you are watching the county's television. Time for us to take another short break. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories. Next on Men's Conference.
Now, as my man, I will require you to take at least 1 shower a day.
Kama hujaoga, unanonga.
You have to shower before we go down to business.
And for me, I actually prefer my man to get a manicure every now and then.
Manicures whatever ailments I might be having.
Those boxers have to be changed every day.
Yes. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Men's Conference every Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Mimi sipendi unapanguza floor. Hiyo dust uache hapa kwa meza. Clean up. This is a problem, eh? Next time, uende ununue selector yako, utengeneze sandwich zako, uachane na sandwich za boss.
Selector. The difference is in the taste.
The completion of the express highway will make commuting from Lukenya to Nairobi a matter of minutes. Invest now in Silver Gardens, a prime property located at the foot of Moore Hills by UIP Real Estate, just 55 kilometers from Nairobi CBD and easily accessible via Kangundo and Mombasa Road. It's just 250 meters from Mudhwani Shopping Center. Water and electricity are available. A 50 by 100 plot for just 500,000 Kenyan shillings, inclusive of a title deed. We have flexible payment terms and daily site visits. Are you looking to buy, build or invest? Book a plot with us today. Call us on 0708 423244 or email us at info@uip.co.ke or visit our website www.uip.co.ke. UIP Real Estate, the home of affordable land.
Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
The Nyali Golf View is situated along Links Road, Nyali, near the Mamba roundabout. Accommodation at the Nyali Golf View ranges from luxurious, air-conditioned, self-catering, elegantly designed 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and a presidential suite. The apartments are ideal for families and business people. Be it a holiday or a business conference, Nyali Golf View Residence is the right place for you. All rooms reflect exquisite and high-standard decor and cozy ambience that will enhance your stay. Nyali Golf View Residence also offers a fully equipped gym, the real infinity pool, laundry services, a valet parking space, and a play area for your children. The Nyali Golf View Residence delivers the best all-round hospitality. At the Nyali Golf View, you have room to think, room to play, room to recharge, room to walk tall, and room to unwind and dream, because it's not a room, it's a residence. For booking and reservation, contact us on 0757 298 272 or email us at nyaligolfview@gmail.com or visit our website at www.nyaligolfview.com.
Authentic, natural, planned. Transforming. Endless benefits. Slaty, purely Kenyan. Buy now on Jumia or Amazon.
You are watching TV 47, the home of Untold Stories.
Welcome back. Let's get to more news. And amidst a worrying wave of homicides and suicides among police officers, the National Police Service has embarked on a program focusing on mental health awareness. To start with, senior police officers have been taken through training on how to discern and deal with colleagues with mental illness. Edward Mbugua, the Deputy Inspector General, stated that all the 47 county police commanders were involved in the exercise so as to neutralize traumatic disorders within the police despite challenges that they deal with at work. According to mental health experts, at least 60 officers in a group of 100 engage in drug abuse due to the challenges they experience in their work environment.
Hiyo kazi ngumu na ile vitu tunaona wakati tunaenda kuattend pahali kumefanyika ajali, hiyo saa zingine ina affect maofficers kwa akili yao.
Hii ripoti ya askari kuuana na kujongana, hii yote ni mambo na mental issues. Haijaanza hapo. Ndio sababu tumeita county commanders wote kwa hapa tuwaeleze, wasikize. Watu wakuwe na another here. I always say, hear what they say, but the reason what they don't say.
Well, from that, it's time for us to get to the world of sports. Dennis Otieno is with us. Dennis.
Well, thank you, Abubakar. Now, tonight, we will be telling you about the preparations of the national under-23 team ahead of the 2021 CECAFA Championship. We shall also be telling you about the Euro 2020 and what to expect in the match tonight, beating Italy against Spain. Now, this and more coming up. And it's time for the sports news with me, Dennis Otieno. Now let's start off with matters football. All players initially called up to the national under-23 football team's Emerging Stars camp Tuesday afternoon are said to have checked in. This as the team intensified its preparations for the 2021 CECAFA Senior Championships while training at the Ruaraka grounds. Emerging Stars head coach Stanley Okumbi says a tough challenge awaits them. Hence, they need to prepare adequately as they await to be drawn against an opponent on Friday. The team is set to tentatively leave for Ethiopia on July 14th to attend the regional tournament that now kicks off on July 17th.
Actually, it's tough because now it's under 23. Under 23 is almost a national team. Of course, it's senior team, almost senior team, because most of the players that we are having here, maybe after the tournament, they will also be in the senior team. Maybe we'll be playing against the senior team of the other team. So it's going to be tough, but of course, we are also preparing in a very tough way, and we are going to approach the tournament in a very serious way.
Still on the Sekafa Championship, the FKF Women Premier League side Vihiga Queens have intensified their training ahead of the 2021 Sekafa Women's Championships, slated to begin on 17th July, as they move into residential camp in Nairobi. Vihiga Queens head coach Alex Alumira, who is determined to steer his side into clinching the title, says the residential camp is vital for the team, so that the players can acclimatize with the Nairobi